Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? Make believe in his heart alone, out here on my own. When I was 9 years old, and in junior high school, back when it was junior high school, I had to walk home. Now, the walk itself wasn't challenging, but there were a lot of dogs in a lot of yards, and I was afraid. I was very afraid, and I didn't always know why. At the time, the way I dealt with my fear was I would sing. I would sing at the top of my lungs throughout my neighborhood. I sang everything: national anthem, patriotic songs, things on the radio, Power 96. I'm not sure if that's still in Miami. Whitney before Bobby Brown Whitney. And there was this play, this musical called Fame. And there was this one song that was my song. I just sang it, and it told people about the things that I was thinking about myself, that I was on my own, that I was alone. We're always proving who we are, always reaching for that rising star. My parents, I've gotten ahead of myself. So my parents were born in Colombia, South America. And my mom was a farmer. She had goats and chickens and a large family and a dad who died way too soon. And at 14, she had to travel the country with her aunt to earn money for the family. And when visas were being given out when she was 18, she decided to apply for one and got the opportunity to come to the United States. She became one of the girls in a family, actually in a couple families in Long Island. My dad, born in a 3-room shack. He was a teacher at the time and met her and fell in love, and he followed her to the United States. And together, the two of them figured some things out. My dad had to let go of his education, his experience, his skills, and come here, and in New York became a dishwasher. My mom worked on the line at Bulova Watch Company, and the two of them navigated America and built their family there. In 1970, I'm born. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Jackson Heights. And I gotta be honest with you, while that is a huge part of who I am, I don't remember much of it. In the hopes to keep my family strong, my mom made some decisions, and she moved us to Miami when I was 9. And in 1979, I found myself transplanted in a completely new place with new rules, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out why I didn't fit. And the way I manifested that was that I just felt like I wasn't enough. So, I wasn't enough. When I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through. But no one could help me. They didn't know that what I felt was like I was not enough. I didn't know that what I felt was that I didn't fit in because I came from someplace else. And this lasted me for a long time. Fast forward 9 years and I'm in the same seat that you're in. I somehow made it to college, and it was because of my mom. I owe it all to her. She was damn sure that I was gonna get to college. She helped me fill out all of those papers, and she got me there. So I was a theater major, which made a lot of sense. I joined a sorority. I became a beer tender at our local Rathskeller, which is like the BU pub. And I started building the community that I was going to be in for the rest of my life. I just didn't know it at the time. And while I had a lot of acceptance and I had a lot of things that made sense, I didn't know. I still didn't feel like I belonged. I still didn't feel like I was enough. My parents planned a trip to Colombia, and I went with them. And it was amazing. I met family members I had never met before. There was 100 of us in a little town in the middle of nowhere. 50 of us piled into what's called a chiva, with the yellow and the blue and the red on the side, with 50 family members, 2 flats of beer, a case of aguardiente, which is that anisette Colombian liqueur that's amazing, and a chicken for lunch later. Sorry. And I traveled out into the mountains and actually got to visit my dad's little shack. 3 rooms, kitchen, living space, bedroom. I got to see the sod wall where he dug his shrine to the Virgin Mary, and I saw the river where he and his family would bathe. His father was a politician, an almsbud of his community, and eventually led him to getting an education, but like I said before, when he came here, he had to let all that go. I learned a lot about my family, and I also learned, yet again, I wasn't enough. I wasn't Colombian enough. Who I was and how I was dressed gave it all up. I didn't belong. It took some time for me to figure some things out. I moved to Boston to go to Northeastern. I got a do-over. If you can imagine that. I got a do-over. I got to start my life at 26 in Boston. But guess what? Yet again, I wasn't enough. I was a junior at age 26, if you can imagine that, right? How you guys are thinking like 26 feels super old. I was 26 and a junior in my undergrad class. I was from Miami, originally from New York, but now really strongly from Miami. Hot culture, hot community culture. And now I was in New England. I wasn't New England enough. And it took me a little while, but I decided to flip the script. I decided to not look at those things as not enough, but to realize that in fact it was. The other thing I did was I felt, and I identified when those moments came, and I was able to put a label on it. And I called her my little brown girl. I actually got a tattoo of her, but that's for another time. And I didn't get a tattoo until I was 40, mind you, 42 actually. And my little brown girl would emerge in the places when I would stretch myself and felt unsure. She would put herself into that space. And I had to have a conversation with that part of me to say, this isn't the time. This isn't the place. I'm not little and brown and afraid. I'm actually going to be okay. And once I was able to flip that script, things started to change. I met this awesome man and married him at age 32. I had this amazing son who every day impresses me with his maturity. He's now 12, if you can imagine that. I'm standing up here now, never thinking I would ever be a 9-to-5 kind of girl, but I actually found my dream job. It has everything I wanted. Everything I wanted. There's sign language, there's coordination, there's numbers, there's all the things. It taps into all the things that I am. And I finally am in a place where I figured out where I'm enough. Here's the deal. I spent more than half my life looking for that definition. I spent half my life wondering if I was enough, and so I'm going to ask you to think about this. Don't wait. I'm wife enough, I'm friend enough, I'm honest, and I have integrity, I'm smart, and I'm enough. And I want to let you know that you're enough too. Thank you. When I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through. Help me need you until the morning sun appeared, making light of all my fears. I dry the tears I've never shown out here on my own, out here on my own.